Welcome back to another week.
And another episode. Let's be so honest. Nothing humbles you quicker than going on Instagram and seeing someone, or on LinkedIn for that matter, and seeing someone achieving the goals that you are working really hard to achieve, or like building a life that you are really working really hard to build, and you're just not there yet. And so that's kind of like where we want to jump in today, is into that comparison and how to firstly deal with it, but also how to almost like prevent it to an extent.
Or just change our mindset, change our outlook on it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's such a natural thing for us to look around, look at other people and kind of like measure where we are, measure our success, like measure up against other people. And I think, as I said, like supernatural. We've been doing it since we were this small.
Yeah, everyone does it.
Everyone does it. But it can definitely be very toxic, especially when we are trying to build from within and build a strong mindset and build stronger us.
Exactly.
Can be so harming. Yeah. And Danelle and I were actually talking just before we started recording, and like in this week both of us experienced like looking or hearing about someone. I heard about a business owner who's doing fantastic, and like I'm so happy for her. I really am. Like I'm really truly, I mean, that's the dream, right?
Yeah.
But it is tough hearing from someone who's like just a year or two older than you, being where you'd love to be at the moment, and just you're not.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's also just so easy. It's like I think we discussed this in the last episode, but basically how you like leave a certain space, or you leave an industry, or you leave like something behind, and then you see those people like thriving, and it's so frustrating because it's like, I left because I wanted to build something different, but now you guys are thriving, and it's like frustrating in that same breath, you know, like I'm happy that I'm where I'm at, but it's like, you know, where's the line? Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Every time we compare ourselves to someone else who we feel are further along or have the life that we have or that we want, or whatever it may be, you are taking energy away from building your own, and it's just like stealing that motivation, if that makes sense. I think there's a balance, because it motivates you in some sense, but it also like discourages you in another sense, you know. So there has to be that balance.
Definitely a balance.
Comparison isn't allowed like something that's screaming at you type vibe. It's a silent killer. Like it slowly but surely creeps in. It's not a conscious decision that we make to now compare ourselves to other people. It literally just creeps in. And so I think being more like vigilant to prevent those things from happening, or to prevent that comparison from happening in the first place, so like preventing it more than dealing with it, is the best way to go, and the easiest way to go if you think about it. And you just set yourself up for so much more joy instead of that frustrating like negative part of it.
And obviously the biggest, we've again talked about this time and time again, the biggest thief of joy and probably platform to compare is social media. And I think it's so unnatural for us to have a platform where millions and billions of people are on, and we can see everyone's lives, keep up with their lives. But again, so natural. I was actually thinking about it yesterday, how long I've actually been on social media. Just to think back on how big chunk of your life you've been on social media. For me, it's 13 years. And Danelle's 14 years. That's half of my lifetime. I've been on social media where I could keep up with people that probably I wasn't meant to keep up with. I have connected with people way out of my social realm that I would never have known about if the social media wasn't a thing. And I think there's so much beauty, but then the very negative part, which we're going to focus on today, is the comparison part. And comparing lives of people who have so way different journeys. People have way different opportunities, vast variety of skill levels. You know, it's just insane to think, actually.
It really is. I was literally thinking about it yesterday as well, and because I was scrolling. It was one of those nights. Okay, it was one of those nights where I was like, don't have much to do right now. Technically, I have a lot to do, but I'm just gonna rest tonight. I'm not gonna do anything productive. I'm just gonna intentionally rest. I couldn't think of anything else to do. Then I literally just wanted to sit on this couch and scroll, and that's what I did. And after like an hour, 2 hours, I felt gross, and so I went to sit outside, and I was like, okay, it's fine. Just like, let's take a break from that, because that's gross, and just sit and like, you know, I don't know, be intentional. And everything that came up, like thought-wise, was all like, okay, but how can I do this better? And maybe I should start this, and maybe I should do this, and maybe my discipline is like terrible. Yeah, exactly. Maybe this, maybe that. And I literally had to stop myself, and I was like, dude. Like, you literally just spend 2 hours on Instagram. Fair enough. Okay, I think we all have those days. But also, you don't realize how much that affects you and your brain, and like constantly trying to keep up with what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And so it's really frustrating. And we've spoken about this a few times, but I deleted my Instagram for about 2 months last year, and it was a life-changing experience because for the first time in 14 years, I genuinely felt like I was just living my life. I was just living my life. I wasn't trying, like I wasn't thinking about other people. I wasn't trying to keep up. I wasn't trying to see the next best thing 24/7. I was just living my life, just being present. And it was life-changing. And if my career didn't need me to be on social media, I would delete it any day of the week. I cannot wait until I don't need social media for my career anymore, because I literally just so badly want to get out of the space right now, because I think it's such a ugly space. But once again, Instagram is a highlight reel, and I was chatting to Laura about it actually before this, and I was like, you know the thing where everyone always says life either happens to you or it happens for you, and it depends on your mindset. And I'm at a stage right now where life is happening to me. Life is throwing shit at me, and I'm just like, please, can everything just stop? Like, I just give me a second,
relax.
But that's not how my Instagram looks right now. My Instagram looks like living my best life. Jan has been so good to me, and you know, everything's great. Jan has been a bitch, okay, and that's okay. But once again, we need to stop comparing the highlight reel to the behind the scenes, because those are two different things. So we keep comparing, but I think Instagram honestly just needs to put a feature on their app so that I can block reels. Like, reels need to be blocked. Like, they need to be turned off, because it's just so addictive.
It is addictive, yeah.
It's just so easy.
I think that's the problem where they get you, is it's like the dopamine effect is just so addictive. And like my husband and I realized the other night, we were at this point where we can't just watch a movie.
Yeah.
You have a movie and you have a phone, which is, I hate to admit it, because it's a horrible habit.
Yeah.
And like, you consciously need to stop that habit and be like, no, I really just need one screen. Like, I do not need to. Anyway.
A few episodes back, we also discussed validation and how it affects your like self-belief. We don't realize how much we depend on that external validation to like fill our cups. And I think realizing that is such a freeing experience, and realizing, you know what, I don't need this. I don't want this. If I don't have to be on social media, why am I doing it to myself?
But I think it's important to mention that it's a very human thing to seek the validation and approval. I was telling Danelle, I'm listening to a podcast at the moment with the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And he said that it's literally in our human nature to care about what other people think. And I think we're very, very conditioned in our society to be conscious about what do people around us think. And he's like, he actually compared it, it's a very long story, but he compared it to, if you don't care, that's literally the definition of a psychopath, which we're not. So I think noticing that it is a normal thing, but it's normal, but it's manageable as well. And we should manage it. And caring what your inner circle thinks is much different than caring what a random person on the internet thinks. Literally random, you know, no one,
like a nobody. And I don't want to say a nobody, but like a nobody in my life.
Your life,
like you don't. You don't have any say or effect or anything on my life, so why do I care what you think?
No, exactly. The crazy thing about comparison, especially when you have kind of lost control of it and allow too many people to speak into your life, or not even speak into your life, you just, when you open your world up to compare yourself to different people, is that decisions you were very certain on, right? And you made because you were confident about them, you probably thought it through. You start doubting. And this has definitely been a prominent part in my journey, and I'm sure in yours as well. A lot of things like we've thought through meticulously, and you're confident about a decision, and then suddenly, again, you open Instagram or you look at another business, you look at another creator, whatever, and suddenly like, I probably shouldn't have made that decision, or I should have done this rather than this, and you lose confidence in yourself and your own decision making, which is very, very dangerous, because you have been put in this role for a very specific reason, in this job, in this, be given a vision for your life or for your journey, for your business, and you are capable of making decisions for that journey and that business, right? And of course, allowing people to speak into that is also important. But having you doubt your own capabilities is dangerous. That's all it is, because you can lose vision and lose your trust in yourself in that, in that journey.
That like self-trust. Yeah, definitely. Recently there's been a big part of my business that I've definitely been holding back, and it's because of comparison specifically, and my lack of self-trust that's been holding me back, right? And I didn't understand that. So, like I literally just had all these things that could go wrong in my brain, and I was like, this is why I can't do this, because I'm too scared. And so I basically went to make a list about all the reasons why I believe I won't be able to make it, or I won't be able to like scale and like build into this part of the business. And so I made a list, and then one of the things on my list was basically the fact that I feel like I don't know everything yet, and which is really scary for me, because I am the type I want to know everything. I want to know all the details so that I can make calculated decisions, and everything needs to work and make sense, right? And so then I was like, okay, but what do I not know? Like, what can I figure out to make me feel more confident and capable in this space? And so I made a list of everything that I don't know, and I would highly recommend doing this, because it literally just changed the way that I think about it. I was like, wow, this is now bite-sized. Like, I can actually see this on paper, and I can say, you know what, this is actually not as intimidating, and it's
achievable.
Like, exactly, and it's smaller things that I can work on, and I know that they're going to make me feel more capable and confident in this space. And so obviously I ran to ChatGPT after this and gave him my list of things that I should work on, and then also asked for, based on everything that he knows about me, like, what am I missing, things that I need to work on. And he literally tore me into pieces with his responses. It was a very humbling experience, but a lot of it came down to the fact everything that I do is very performative, and because I never want to come across like I don't know, or that I'm not the best, or whatever it may be, I will perform as if I do.
Yeah.
And so basically I'm holding myself back from the growth that comes from just saying, I don't know, I'm gonna look into it, or whatever it may be, by just performing as if I do, as if I know everything, as if I, holds me back in so many ways, because I'm not asking the right questions necessarily. I'm not confident in myself throughout that conversation, because I'm trying to basically bullshit my way through it, right? And it's just this constant cycle of, because you are comparing yourself to others, and because you're comparing yourself to different business owners and people who have made it in the industry and whatever, I feel like I won't make it. And that is bizarre and stupid. And so I think what we're trying to say is, stop chasing the performance.
Yeah.
Because Instagram is performance, LinkedIn is performance, TikTok is performance, everything is performance based. Let's actually take a step back, focus on the growth, and the performance will come with the growth. Does that make any sense?
We're just all putting our best foot forward.
Exactly. We're all just trying.
Of course. I mean, and if you've ever watched any creative on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and when there's like, people make assumptions or they get hate for something, the first thing they always say is, this is only a part of my life.
Yes.
And it's the truth. And we forget that often.
Yeah.
Because you get so consumed with, I know this person. I think there's a psychological term for it.
Yeah.
But there's like a parasocial relationship you build with this character online or on TV or our TV, social media.
Yeah.
That we forget it's a real person with real life, with real, challenges, real feelings, even, like you think it's a robot. Exactly. Subconsciously, at least.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think we all just put our best foot forward.
Yeah, we're all just trying our best.
and I think that's the important part as well, unless you really know that person. And if I even just think now, the people in my life I know very personally who are successful, who I deem as successful, even with them, you kind of have more of an understanding of what price they're paying for the success they have, or where they are in their journey. And you have so much more grace for it. And I think so much more, there's so much more of like, I really respect the journey you're on.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I'm not on the same journey, because that's not me, and that's not my journey, right? But it doesn't take away
doesn't take away from the success.
Exactly, or their journey, or the respect you have for their success and what they've built and whatever. It's just like, I'm really happy that's not me, because I'm on my own journey, and I can really appreciate my journey and appreciate their journey.
And I've also got different things that I want to focus on, and different things that I'm willing to sacrifice. Comparison doesn't inspire consistency, it creates impatience. It makes us want to rush the journey. It makes us want to like just get ahead, right? We want to be where these people are. We want to be, we want the success that they have, right? And so it makes you rush the journey and then miss some integral parts of things that you need to work on. But also it makes you give up on things way too quickly, because I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like someone else already achieved this. I'm just going to stop right now because they already put the work in. I don't know if I'm willing to. Exactly.
Yeah. And I think what it is, I was actually talking to a friend about this, but in a relationship aspect, but this, I think it interlinks perfectly, is I'm like, you can't, actually just marriage specifically, but you can't pick an unripe fruit, right? And it's like that. So you're picking this fruit because you super rushed and you feel like you need to catch up on timeline.
Yeah.
But actually all you did was skip a whole process of things that needed to fall in place for that to be ready at the perfect time, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like I see it now with a ripe apple, for example, right? And I'm like, oh, fantastic! I want to be there, so I'll just pick my apple now.
Yeah.
But I've skipped a lot of time, and I'm going to give up on that apple because it's not going to be good. It's not the right time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give up on the journey because things didn't happen in the right
order
or time, right?
Yeah.
We were rushed by things that shouldn't have rushed us.
Exactly.
Things that really didn't matter. Yeah, and in all aspects of life, career-wise, relationship-wise, like so many aspects, when we rush things and we are rushed to get to an end point or get to a goal, things fall through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Somewhere at least.
I think the biggest thing here is we need to, I kind of want to say just focus, right? Because the focus is...
refocus on your...
Exactly, yeah. You have to eliminate distractions. You have to eliminate spaces that you compare yourself, that like makes you compare yourself to others. And it's easier said than done. Is I'm going to eliminate everything that makes me feel shit about myself. I'm going to, just focus and lock in and get the shit done,
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
No.
It's not how it works. If you want to build a balanced life, if you want to build a life that feels good and not just looks good, there has to be balance. I think the biggest thing is just being so intentional about, be on Instagram, be on LinkedIn, be on these spaces, but give yourself a certain amount of time, or don't allow yourself to start scrolling on Reels, or, set a timer for how long you're allowed to be on it, or be on it at certain times of the day, whatever it may be, yourself. But I think the biggest thing, like, that I'm realizing through this conversation is just like, we're doing all these things to ourselves. Like, we are putting ourselves in these situations that comparison like flourishes. And so why are we doing this to ourselves? Yeah.
But I think it's just a natural.
It is. It really is. And I think it's a time in like society, or like it's a specific point in time where it's just too easy. It's too easy to compare yourself. It's too easy to see everyone else's lives and see everyone else's success. Everything is just too easy. It comes too easy. But we need to actually do the hard thing and block the easy. Does that make sense?
Definitely, yeah. On the notes of like refocusing on our path and our journeys, defining what progress is for you and your life, and not necessarily what it is for the world or for someone else that you're comparing yourself to. And even if it is like writing down, what do I still need to learn or do to be where I want to be?
Yeah.
And that list, truthfully, is going to keep growing.
Yeah.
Because you get to a point in like, oh, actually, I thought I should do this, but this consists of 5 other things or whatever,
Yes.
But I think if you need to like practically lay it out, do it. If you need to get opinions on the journey, do it. Rather than rushing something or thinking, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just gonna wing it.
Exactly.
I think like redefining that progress.
I saw a video of someone the other day. I love how I always refer to this after telling everyone social media is so shit. I saw a video the other day about someone who basically did like a staycation, so booked a hotel in the city that they live in, and it took 2 days and literally just sat with themselves. So basically, like, phone is on airplane mode in the cupboard. You are like, there's no distractions. You're just in the hotel, just order room service or whatever it may be, and you're literally just focusing on who are you, what are you doing, what is the trajectory of your life right now, what should you focus on, whatever, what brings you joy, like, and basically just sat and like journaled for a full 2 days and try to figure themselves out and put the actual inner work in. And it was so interesting because I think we never do that. We never allow space to do that, especially in the beginning of the year. We never allow ourselves that time to like sit and put the work in and do the hard things and figure out. I think we reflect to an extent, but we don't like go into intentional detail of how can we actually improve. And so we never really give ourselves that time in the middle of the year and the end of the year, beginning of the year. Where are we supposed to find time to take 2 days to journal, right? Honestly, let's be honest with ourselves, especially in the beginning of the year. It just like things just fall into place, whatever. But I think taking a step back, even if it's half a day or a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, whatever, and taking the time and putting the work in, basically just realigns your intention for the year and your alignment with what you're chasing,
Yes.
right? Because I think, especially like if you look at the fact that it's Feb and like where did the last 6 weeks of this year go? You know what I mean? It just goes by so quickly. If we don't pause and actually do the work, because I think if you do the work, you realize that you're comparing yourself. You're comparing yourself to other people. I don't know how to do it. What I'm trying to say, but basically, just let's do the actual work. Let's put it down on paper. Try and understand where you're at and chase that instead of just having this like blob in your brain of I want to be better or I want to do this thing, but I'm too scared. Exactly, but you don't know how. Put it down on paper, make a list, and it's just like it's bite-sized. Do a brain dump. If you don't know what a brain dump is, Google it. It's life-changing.
On Danelle's point, this is where we can replace that like comparison part with I want to grow in it and I want to be better and create curiosity in it. So why am I jealous of where they are? Like what's intriguing about it? What can I do to get there? What do I still need to do? Is that really what I want to be, or am I just stuck in a rut at the moment and feel like that's quite a nice picture? You know, like really start like self-reflecting. And we say this whole season, I feel like has been self-reflection and really going to think and sitting with yourself and your own thoughts. But it's so important. That was what convinced Danelle and I to get out of this like rat race mode. It was because we didn't want to just go with the flow, fall into a structure and be like, yep, what a successful life. Like we felt a draw to a life of living intentionally and purposefully and choosing a path with that and not just falling into what everyone says you should be doing. You know?
No, definitely. I think we just want to end off the episode by once again asking some reflective questions. And don't get me wrong, this is also like this episode is very beneficial for me as well, and I'm sure Laura to an extent as well, as we're just constantly comparing ourselves. It's not that we're saying you guys stop it, we're perfect, we don't do that. It's a constant battle. But a question that I want to leave you guys with, and obviously ourselves with, is where in your life are you chasing something purely for validation, where you should be chasing the growth and like putting the actual work in? And then I think it lines up with like, who am I building where no one can see? Like, what am I trying to build internally? What am I trying to achieve internally and personally that I don't need to show other people? That doesn't have to be performative, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. It's important to think of it like comparison being like the mindset leak, and the leak that's draining your energy can really take you off your path where you're on the path you're heading on, where awareness of it and being able to work against that is like closing that leak and protecting your peace, which is a daily challenge. It's not easy, but we're not meant to be living in a world where billions and millions are looking at you.
Exactly. But I think what we were trying to achieve with this episode is more just like try and be more intentional with what you're trying to compare yourself to, because I think it's normal. It's like you said, it's so normal. It's human. I think sometimes we should pick and choose, what do I want to compare myself to in this space? Like, what is going to motivate me, but what is going to hold me back? But thank you so much for joining today. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.